Colleferro is a small town of the province of Rome in the Lazio region of central Italy. It is a new residential zone of the metropolitan area of Rome where many different industries and sports structures are located. History. From Appia and Plutarch we learn that in 82 BC a decisive battle in the civil war against Gaius Marius the Younger took place at Colleferro, which concluded in favor of Sylla. At the end of the siege Marius committed suicide. It was at Colleferro that Italian cyclist and patriot, Enrico Totti, that on the 27th of March 1908, had his left leg crushed. The train was stopped at the station to be joined with the Colleferro train. Totti was lubricating the engine of the locomotive, and when the locomotives moved, Totti slipped and his left leg was trapped and crushed by the gears. The development of the town began as early as 1912 with the conversion of a long-disused sugar factory to an explosive factory. Initially, the town developed away from where the center is today. The first few buildings were built within the territory of the nearby town of Almontone, near the train station that was then called Segni Paliano, and was renamed Segni Station Colleferro, after the birth of the town. The engineer Leopoldo Parodi Delfino and Senator Giovanni Bombrini founded the Bombrini Parodi Delfino Explosives Factory. Nearby, a new BPD village was created, and factory workers and their families from throughout Italy moved into them. Later, a cement factory opened, using materials quarried from the nearby town of Segni. Colleferro continued growing throughout the 20s and 30s with still within the municipality of Almontone. In 1935 Colleferro was incorporated as a new city. Later, Colleferro incorporated portions of the neighboring municipalities of Segni and Paliano. On 1 February 1938 there was the worst ever explosion at the Bombrini Parodi Delfino. The number of dead and wounded and the damage was so severe that the news was reported even in Times. Within about 3 hours of the explosion, the king, Victor Emmanuel III, Benito Mussolini, along with government and military officials, were in Colleferro to see what happened, visiting the wounded, and planning what to do for the wounded and the town. The following year, on the 18th of June, Prince Umberto II of Italy visited the town to present awards for courage to those at Bombrini Parodi Delfino. During World War II, the Allies repeatedly bombarded Colleferro to destroy the explosives factory. During the attacks, citizens found shelter in a series of caves and tunnels built under the BPD village. On 12 September 1949, the town conferred honorary citizenship on Don Filippo Andrea Doria Pamfilj. In the early 50s, manufactured Laurel, the first soap powder in Italy. Paul VI celebrated Mass in the Plaza Italy, the 11th of September 1966, in which he stated that the church stands in defense of workers and began the speech with the words, Viva Colleferro Operaia. On 9 April 2003 the 15th Ariane 5 launch, one of the boosters had the name Cheetah di Collefero to celebrate the 90th anniversary of the city. The boosters were manufactured at AVIO. On 9 October 2007 one person was killed and 8 were injured in an explosion at a weapons factory belonging to Italian company Simil Difse. Twinning. Colleferro is twinned with Colmenar Viejo, Spain. Geography. Anthropogenic fractions. Colleferro Scalo, originally, the first settlement of Colleferro. 4th kilometer, located on the border with the municipality of Artena. Monuments and places of interest. Religious buildings. Santa Barbara, Church of the Immaculate, Church of San Bruno, Church of Saint Joachim, Temple of Santa Barbara, Church of Saint Benedict, Temple of St. Anne. Architecture. Military. The air raid shelters are residues of World War II, where some 1,500 civilians found shelter during the bombing. Most of the refuge is still open on the feast of St. Barbara, patron of the country. Economy. Agriculture. The territory has always been an agricultural vocation. from 2006 is in the rural district and the Valley of the Agro-Energy Latin. As part of the redevelopment of the Valle del Saco was initiated an experiment in non-food crops. The crops will be sunflower for the biodiesel and poplars to power boilers biomass. As for the livestock, the environmental crisis had forced the slaughter of livestock and destruction of health protection for milk in all farms in the area. The farm has since rebounded with numerous protections for consumers. Industry. The development of Colleferro is linked from the beginning to its industrial, with the opening of explosives Bombrini Paradi Delfino, to which were added numerous chemical plants and textile. The industrial area of Colleferro spread over 1,000 hectares of land, mostly owned by Shea.co.svim. Some of the companies in the territory and have been SNIASP for working with pozzolans atalsmantai in the chemical Colleferro ketones, Colleferro benzo in the Shea.co. SVIM, for the construction and repair of the railway car body Alstom and RFI. Among the companies high technology remember the Avio, operating in aerospace, but we mention the war in simul sport venues. Municipal Stadium Maurizio Notali, Municipal Stadium Andrea Caslano, Sports Hall Alfredo Romboli, Municipal Swimming Pool, Field Archery, Bowls Hall, Clubs. The main sports clubs are Colleferro, SS Colleferro, Football Team, Colleferro Rugby B Rugby Union, Civis Colleferro 1997, by 5-a-side football, Society Colleferro Sports Soccer B Football, ASD, Mythical Colleferro, of table tennis, ADG Colleferro Agora, Volleyball Colleferro Volleyball, ASD, Swimming Colleferro Water Polo, ASD Basketball Colleferro Basketball, ASD Colleferro Athletics Athletics.